Good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are doing good. Again, children, there's a request: stay at home. If only there's an emergency, leave out of the house. Otherwise, home is the best place for you. Today, we're going to be discussing the last topic of staffing chapter, that is training and development. Children, training is very, very important. Training basically is something where you are trying to improve your current as well as your future skills. So training के लिए simple याद रखो, it is basically imparting knowledge and skills for the existing current job. And for development, it is basically imparting knowledge, skills for your future career. See, I always use this statement, I'm using it again. If you join as a supervisor, you do not want to retire as a supervisor. You definitely want to be the general manager, the vice president, perhaps the president of the company also in whichever department you are. This can only happen so if you are being trained at every level, right from the grassroots level to the level where you want to reach. So training and development is very, very important in an organization. Very important. If a person is trained, the person's attitude, knowledge, skills all improve. Now whenever you say a person is working in Coca-Cola at the shop floor level, मान लो वो Coca-Cola छोड़कर Pepsi join कर लेता है, but that doesn't mean कि क्योंकि वो Coca-Cola से आया है तो Pepsi वाले उसे ट्रेनिंग नहीं देंगे. No, Pepsi वाले अपने लेवल की, अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हिसाब से उसे ट्रेन करेंगे, उसे नॉलेज देंगे, उसे स्किल्स देंगे, उसे कल्चर बताएंगे, उसे हर चीज़ बताएंगे. So basically training and development is very, very important. And children, now because the world is changing so much, we are living in a dynamic environment. You've studied this, right? Everything is changing. Today I'm teaching you from the online method. Probably I have been trained by anybody, maybe my family member, somebody, to impart this knowledge. Now we are given online training in school, that this is the way you need to conduct exams, this is the way you need to change this particular situation. जो भी कुछ है, we are being trained from time to time, and it is very important that training has to be given to an employee. There is a difference between a person who is trained and an untrained person. बहुत फर्क है. When your mom has a cook at home, तो मामा सबसे पहले पूछते हैं, हाँ जी खाना बनाना आता है? ये मतलब क्या है? Are you trained? वो कहेगा हाँ जी हमें आता है. अच्छा तुम्हें पंजाबी खाना बनाना आता है? नहीं मैडम जी इतना नहीं आता. Then your mom has to train that employee, that worker, according to the requirements of the family. So training is very, very important. Who is training important for? Is it important only for the organization, or is it important only for the employee? Children, can't be. It is important for both. अगर हम सोचते हैं कि employer को जरूरत है तो employee को भी जरूरी है. So दोनों को ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत है. How? Benefits of training to an organization. Very important question in the boards, right? Now training provides a systematic learning system. Systematic learning है. See, we did scientific management. Is hit and trial, right? Trial and error method. करके देखते हैं हो गया ठीक है, नहीं होगा नहीं होगा. That won't work every time. If you have been trained, you have been systematically acquiring the knowledge, the skill of that particular concept, then you will lead to less wastage of efforts and money. एक trained person बहुत जल्दी काम करता है, बड़े systematically काम करता है, तो organization को इसका फायदा है. Again, it enhances productivity. Obviously, a trained person will be able to give more output than an untrained person. He will give more output in terms of quantity, quality, and the company will benefit in terms of profits. एक untrained person बहुत time लगेगा, पूछ कर करेगा, नुकसान भी कर सकता है, लेकिन एक trained person will increase quantity, quality, as well as will increase the profits of the company. When you have a lot of trained people, you are preparing them for the future. You are preparing them to take over in case of emergency. आजकल companies ने एक बड़ा नया scenario start किया. They are training everybody, and let us say the general manager marketing is resigning the job. It doesn't matter. What will the company do? Company जो उसका subordinate है, who has been trained in the organization since very long. So your employee who has been trained in the organization since very long will be promoted. He will be shifted there. He can also be given challenging jobs in case of emergency. So training really helps children. Once you're a trained person, your morale increases, you're more self-confident, you can handle the jobs better. It reduces absenteeism. Obviously, if I'm a trained teacher, I will not be absent. मुझे पता है कि मैं जाकर अच्छे से पढ़ा सकती हूँ, ना मुझे बच्चों का डर है, मुझे पता है मेरी जॉब बड़ी क्लियर है, right? I know I'm going to give the best output. I'm very confident about myself. So I will not be absent. My sense of duty, sense of responsibility comes into me when I'm trained. Employee turnover. And employee turnover means the number of employees leaving the organization. If you're a trained person, children, just remember one thing in life. You are an asset to the organization. The organization never wants to leave you. They want to maintain you. They want to, appraise you. They don't want to leave you. So you yourself also will not leave the job because you're trained. Employee turnover means the number of employees who leave the job. Now you will obviously leave the job if you're not trained, if you're not giving your best to the organization, if you're not helping the organization in profit making. You will either be thrown out or you will have to leave the organization. But if you're a trained employee, then employers do not want to leave the employees. Lastly, it helps in obtaining effective response. I just told you the environment is changing technologically, economically, socially. The entire scenario is changing. If we look at today, because of COVID-19, we never thought in our lives that we would be doing online teaching. We would be using the technology to this extent, right from our homes. But then we are trained in our subject so well that we are able to respond to the changing environment as and when required. The school also supports. We have a lot of training programs, we have a lot of upgradations. They tell us which apps to use and so on. So children, training is very important for the organization. It is very important for the employee also. Let's understand how training benefits an employee. Of course, organization तो मैं train करेंगे क्योंकि उनका फायदा है. अब उनका फायदा, and training is an investment, children. Organizations spend a lot of money in getting their employees trained. Cbse also has made it mandatory for the schools to provide training programs for their teachers, and the school has to pay for those training programs. So training is a paid, affair. Now, how does it benefit the employees? One, if I'm a trained teacher, my skills are improved, my knowledge is apt. Obviously, I have a better career ahead. When many of the students, candidates, when they just finish their MBAs from premier institutes, they're very particular about which company they're choosing. There are many companies who are famous for giving very good training programs. And अगर वो training program उनके resume में आ जाता है, then their career graph goes very high. Because maybe those companies are famous in the industry itself. So if you are a trained employee, right, you have improved skills, knowledge, you have a better career to take off. A trained person earns more undoubtedly than an untrained person. Everybody knows that. Training makes you very efficient to handle your machines, your equipment, your resources, etc. Because of which the chances to reduce there is a chance to reduce the accidents which can occur on the machine or on the workplace, etc. See, you know very well, children, live example है तुम्हारे पास. जब trained teacher आती है, she is able to handle the students better. Time wastage कम होता है, right? Output ज़्यादा होता है. There is no, stressful scenario. But an untrained teacher comes in, you know how to take the teacher for a ride. So the teacher is not able to handle the situation. There's a lot of disturbance in the class. There's a lot of, time wastage in the class. Last, if you're a trained teacher, obviously, or if you're a trained employee, your satisfaction level, your morale, your confidence, your psychological, your emotional, your, self-actualization needs, all are fulfilled. So training is very important both for the employees as well as the employer. Let us understand the meaning of training, development and education, right? ये तीनों लगते same है, लेकिन there is a difference between the three. You need to know the meaning of these children. Training, as I told you, is a process where your aptitude, skills, abilities of the employee to perform the current job, specific job, has to be given. Training may you are not preparing the employee in his career immediately. You are just giving him skills and application of the knowledge of the job he is at. अगर एक प्लम्बर को मैं ट्रेन कर रही हूँ, राइट, टू हैव हिज प्लम्बरी स्किल्स, तो वो प्लम्बरिंग जॉब के लिए. अगर इलेक्ट्रिशियन को हम ट्रेन कर रहे हैं तो वो इलेक्ट्रिकल जॉब के लिए, राइट. हम उसे ट्रेन इसलिए करते हैं ताकि उसकी जो करंट जॉब की परफॉर्मेंस है वो अच्छी हो जाए. सो जस्ट रिमेंबर, ट्रेनिंग इज फॉर द करंट जॉब, द एबिलिटी एंड स्किल्स टू इम्प्रूव द करंट जॉब. Then what is education? There is a difference between training and education. When I talk about education, it is more theoretical. It is something to do with understanding and knowledge of the employee. In education, you're trying to tell the employee how to develop a logical and rational mind. We are trying to educate him how to get a connection between the variables that he is undergoing. It improves his quality of mind, his characteristics, right? He is able to analyze, synthesize and be objective. Education is a little broader than training for the simple reason because education में तुम logical analysis कर रहे हो, whereas training में तुम खाली उसे skills दे रहे हो, खाली उसे उस job के related समझा रहे हो. क्यों, कैसे, कहाँ, ये नहीं बता रहे. हम सिर्फ बता रहे ये ऐसे ही करना है. That's it. Switch on the machine, put the material, roll it out, and so on. Whereas in education, we are giving him the cause and effect relation. We are giving him the analysis, why, the inferences. When you talk about development, according to me, I always feel development is education plus training. You need to be educated over a period of time. You need to be trained over a period of time. जब तुम educated हो जाते हो, trained होते हो, but obviously you are not only preparing yourself for the present, you are preparing yourself for the future. You are given an opportunity to grow, and growth is very important in an organization. Growth keeps you moving, growth keeps you motivated, growth satisfies your psychological needs, and it's very important for any employee to grow over a period of time, right? That is why see in organizations promotions दी जाती है. जैसे हम टीचर्स के लिए भी सेमिनार्स होते हैं. We have some people coming from others colleges, from corporate world to train us. वो हमें हमारे सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बिल्कुल नहीं बताते क्योंकि उन्हें पता है ये ऑलरेडी ट्रेन्ड टीचर्स है. लेकिन वो बताते हैं कि हमें बच्चों को कैसे हैंडल करना है, हाउ टू यूज टेक्नोलॉजी, हाउ टू क्रिएट अ लाइवली एनवायरनमेंट. दे ट्राई टू डिस्कस दोज थिंग्स विच हेल्प अस टू डेवलप इन फ्यूचर. हमारे में मेच्योरिटी आती है थ्रू दोज training programs which are aimed at our career. Now, in order to train the employees, there are various methods used. Broadly, we divide the methods into two: on-the-job training programs and off-the-job training programs. As the name goes, on the job. Children, it's very, very important to understand the name, the topic. मैंने जब कह दिया on the job, तो तुम्हें on the job का मतलब आना चाहिए. अगर तुम्हें on the job का मतलब आ गया simple English में, so you can understand what I'm going to be speaking about. When I use the word on the job training, means training which is given to the employee while he is working at the place. So यहाँ training and work simultaneously चलता है, right? अगर मैं स्कूल में पढ़ा रही हूँ और स्कूल की जो मेरी सीनियर टीचर्स हैं, हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट है, कोऑर्डिनेटर है, वो मुझे स्कूल में ही बताएंगे कि मैंने कैसे पढ़ाना है, तो वो ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग है. Off the job training, as the name goes, I will be going to another place to get the training. Here the work and the training is not simultaneous, right? The training is off the campus. For example, मुझे यहाँ से let us say zonal corporate office, that is Karnal, हम 5-6 टीचर्स को वहाँ भेजते हैं. वहाँ ट्रेनिंग का सेशन अटेंड करके 3 दिन ट्रेनिंग का सेशन अटेंड करके we come back to Ludhiana and then we impart the acquired knowledge from Karnal. Then that is off the job training. I wasn't trained here, I was trained elsewhere. Now when I talk about on the job, children, the board has made it very clear. Now we don't have on the job and off the job as such. We have 4 to 5 training programs which we need to do it as a part of our syllabus. उनमें से apprenticeship program is one. Now, apprenticeship program is normally given to those skilled workers which are at the operative level. Now here the workers may be large in number, maybe 100, maybe 200 workers. The workers or the trainees are put under master worker. एक शॉप फ्लोर है, वहाँ 10 वर्कर्स काम कर रहे हैं, वहाँ एक सुपरवाइजर है. उन 10 लोगों में से 3 people are totally new. Now these 3 guys are going to be put under a master worker, a skilled worker. Now this master worker is going to give him in detailed training. बारीकी से training देंगे, right? This is an example of plumbers, electricians, iron workers. I told you everybody at the supervisory level or below the operative level. Now this training program is normally for a prescribed time. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years also at times. It depends, right? तुम्हें जो वो मास्टर वर्कर है, वो जो गाइड है, वो ट्रेनर है, वो ट्रेन करेगा, वो बहुत अच्छे से सबको ट्रेन करेगा. लेकिन आफ्टर लेट अस से 6 months or 1 year when they review the trainees, how have they progressed? अगर उन 200 trainees में से 50 trainees have done very well, they have been trained very well, and now they can be put onto the required post for which they have been hired. बाकी के 150 will continue with the training until they will be totally, completely trained to be put onto the job. Now, a consolidated salary called a stipend is normally given during this training program. Again, once you're totally trained and put onto the job, you will be given the proper pay scale as other, trained employees. Then we have internship. Children, the topics मैं छोड़ रही हूँ, you needn't do them. You need to do only the topics which I'm doing with you. Internship. Internship is basically a collaboration between theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. You must have heard this word very clearly when you talk about doctors and interns. So doctors 4.5 साल अपनी theory acquire करते हैं, and then 1 year they are given internship, जहाँ they are put on a rotation. Maybe 1 month in the pediatrics department, 1 month in the ophthalmology department, 1 month in the ortho, 1 month in the cardiac, and they acquire practical knowledge of all the medical fields. They put under those doctors in those departments. Now looking at this particular medical sciences and the training they get there, the engineering colleges also have internship for 3 to 6 months. The MBA colleges also have internship for 3 to 6 months, maybe a semester. If you go abroad to study, there are something called the co-op programs. The co-op is nothing but you have 8 semesters of training in a education degree to take. Your 6 semesters will be your probably theory subjects, and maybe 2 semesters will be your co-op. Co-op matlab your internship, where you will be acquiring practical knowledge of the theory you have studied. So तब जब तुम्हारी कोर्स खत्म हो जाता है 4 साल के बाद, you are trained practically and theoretically to acquire the job and take position very nicely. Then you have job rotation. But simple है. This is normally adopted by the Japanese, very famous. Job rotation matlab they transfer you, they shift you from one department to another, so that you can have a broader understanding of the entire working of the organization. I'll give you a very nice example. Let us say I'm a marketing person, and अगर मैंने MBA marketing की है, तो MBA marketing में marketing itself is a very large, huge, broad field. Marketing में बहुत सारे departments आते हैं, बहुत सारी scope है. Marketing में sales आ गया, marketing में promotion आ गई. जब मैं marketing chapter करूँगी तो मैं डिटेल में पता चलेगा. Branding आ गया, पैकेजिंग आ गई, लेबलिंग आ गई, कस्टमर केयर आ गया, स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन, फिजिकल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, रिसर्च, एडवर्टीजमेंट, सेल्स प्रमोशन, पब्लिसिटी, पब्लिक रिलेशन, एंडलेस डिपार्टमेंट्स है मार्केटिंग में. सो इफ आई हैव डन MBA मार्केटिंग, आई विल बी शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम वन डिपार्टमेंट टू अनदर विद इन मार्केटिंग. मुझे 2 साल वो एडवर्टाइजिंग में रखेंगे, 2 साल वो मुझे सेल्स प्रमोशन में रखेंगे, मुझे 1 साल वो ब्रांडिंग में रखेंगे, 1 साल वो मुझे लेबलिंग में, सो दैट आई गेट द एंटायर नॉलेज ऑफ द मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट. एंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, if I am so capable and I have the leadership qualities, I can always be promoted step by step, and you never know, the person may become the president marketing. प्रेसिडेंट मार्केटिंग को मार्केटिंग में हर एक चीज की नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. Then you have vestibule training. Children, vestibule training is off the job method. Now in vestibule training it's very interesting. मैंने वहाँ लिखा pilots. इसको mind में रखना. Vestibule training basically is a training program given to the trainees not within the organization but at a separate place which is away from the organization. Now here an artificial model of the working environment is created. I repeat, an artificial model of the working environment is created and the trainee is given training on that artificial model. I'll give you an example very nicely. You have, that's the word is used to handle sophisticated machines. Let's say you have a pilot, you've done 3 years of your pilot course. Now pilot course is very expensive. अब तुम ये मत सोचना कि 3 साल के बाद तुम्हें एयरक्राफ्ट देंगे और बोलेंगे ओके नाउ फ्लाई. No. There is an artificial model of an aircraft which is created, the cockpit especially. It is created at a particular training center. Now the trainees are given training in that particular cockpit which has been created. Now it works exactly like an original aircraft. So when the he ons the ignition, the same feel comes in. When there are levers and louvers which help him to change and everything बिल्कुल वैसे उसका माहौल होता है जैसे कि वो एयरक्राफ्ट चला रहा है. Now after a particular stage, मान लो उसने टेक ऑफ करनी है, the runaway, it's all computer driven. So वो सारी वो फील करती है कि even the air hostesses, तुमने देखा होगा air hostesses को ट्रेनिंग होती है, उन्हें एयरक्राफ्ट में जाके ट्रेनिंग नहीं देते. एक बहुत बड़ा कमरा होता है which has been converted into the aircraft. The seat, the seating arrangement, the everything exactly is the way it is in an aircraft. So that is a vestibule training. हाँ, एक बार जब तुम trained हो जाते हो, then you put on to the actual place to be trained. Then you have another training program called the programmed instructions. Programmed instruction is basically, it's a pre-arranged and it is basically pre-arranged, proposed to acquire specific or general knowledge. मैंने book से पढ़ा है. Reason because here the entire training program is broken into smaller logical sequential steps. See children, if you are in school, you could not be doing your 3rd standard first and then your UKG and then your 5th standard and then your LKG and then back to 6th standard. No. It is step by step, logical and sequential. बिल्कुल वैसे ही याद रखना. First you enter the school with a KG block, LKG, UKG, 1st, 2nd. When you acquire the basic knowledge, you're trained, then you move to the primary, then middle school, high school. इसमें programmed है, logical है, right? Sequential है, right? All the instructions. ऐसे ही जब तुम एक organization join करते हो, पहले तुम्हें basics समझाई जाती है, फिर तुम्हें थोड़ा सा difficult, फिर उससे difficult, फिर उससे difficult, and you go on. So here there is a scope that you keep on asking questions of the level you have learnt to move on to the level next. फिर जब तुम next level कर रहे हो, ask questions and move on to the next level. Children, there is another training program which is not in the NCERT. I shall be providing you subsequently with additional information and material. It's called the induction training. हम वैसे ये कर चुके हैं. कहाँ? प्लेसमेंट एंड ओरिएंटेशन में, जो स्टाफिंग का एक स्टेप था. इंडक्शन का मतलब होता है ओरिएंटेशन. इंडक्शन का मतलब होता है इंट्रोडक्शन. व्हेन द एम्प्लॉय इज कमिंग टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, you need to introduce him to everybody in the organization where he's going to work, right? His group, his department. You need to equip him with the knowledge. You need to equip him with the rules, regulations, with his peer group, with his superiors, with his subordinates. You need to show him his machines. You need to show him his table. ये सारा कुछ orientation है, right? Introduction, familiarizing him. Now induction program may vary from 1 day to 1 week, maybe even a fortnight, depending upon what is the nature of your job, which level are you at, right? It may be within the organization, it may be outside. अगर तुम एक वर्कर हो, सुपरवाइजर हो, अगर तुम मिडिल लेवल हो, एक टीचर हो, तो तुम्हें एक दिन सिर्फ लगेगा ये सब कुछ बताने के लिए. बट अगर मान लो तुम मिडिल लेवल पर एक जनरल मैनेजर हो और तुमने 200 पीपल को मैनेज करना है, तो तुम्हें बाहर से कंपनी अपने हेड ऑफिस भेजेगी, वहां से तुम्हें प्रॉपर इंडक्शन करके फिर वापस यहाँ भेजेगी. right? So that's induction program, induction training. Children, I'm done up with the chapter. It's done. Take your time. You have the weekend coming. Revise the chapter very well. Next week, I'm going to only spend on revising the chapter. Children, I expect all the students to do the back questions, right? I'm going to take up a Google Meet class sometime later on, wherein once the book finishes, I'm going to do all the back questions chapter wise. And for that, I'll take up a Google Meet class, and discuss the back questions with all the students.